Hey everybody, KevinJJohnston here, letting you know that we're going to go live again today, which we already are, of course, to talk about things that are bothering you or just things that you're curious about or whatever it might be. And we're just going to go live right this second on TikTok because that's the one that brings in the most questions. Unfortunately, also the most trolls. Hold on, here we go. Hey, TikTok, KevinJJohnston here. We're now live on Facebook, Twitch, TikTok. What else we got there? Rumble. We're all over the place. So again, more of your questions are going to be answered today. And I'm always appreciative of everybody who comes out here and so on. Yes, I know I need a haircut. Let's not bother insulting me about that. Let's just be happy that I'm in my 50s and I still have hair. How does that sound? Let's just go ahead and look at it that way. So your questions, throw them in the room. Not a problem whatsoever. We're going to get to as many of them as we possibly can. The first question I've got here in email, this came in last night, is, Kevin, what is your biggest pet peeve? I think the biggest one I've got, because it is so unnecessary, is adults who exude and exhibit piggish behavior. So you come to my house and you take a leak and you don't lift the seat and you leave your urine on my toilet seat. Yeah, that's going to get me going. Recently, I've ended a friendship because a particular individual decided to defecate on my toilet seat and left smears there, and that was it. So we're done. You know, I couldn't even get him to clean the thing. So piggish behavior, especially when it's adults. I mean, if that was a toddler, if that's a 3-year-old trying to figure out the way the toilet works and some got left behind, sure. But when we're talking anybody over the age of 5, you know what you're doing is wrong. So piggish behavior from adults is so repugnant that I simply cannot look past it. I'm going to check the Facebook room here, guys. Your questions are going to come in from 7 different platforms, but at the same time, it's over 40 pages, 40 social media pages. They're coming in from all over the place. I'll do my best to get to all of your questions right away. Vivian, if you hate Canada, why not move to the United States? I answered that question yesterday. So why don't you guys try to ask questions that have not already been answered? All right. Where were you born? Okay, simple. Toronto. That's public knowledge. I was born in Toronto, 1971. So I'm in my 50s. I'll be 52 this year. That's that. Toronto. I don't know why that's so interesting. Oh, here's one. How much do you weigh? Today, probably about 208 pounds. You know, why not? So WTF Man 1977. Why do you hate Canada so much? We have covered this topic before, but I'll answer it because obviously it's so important to you. It's not the country. The country, the actual land mass of Canada is absolutely gorgeous. It is awe-inspiring. It is a beautiful place. Mountains, oceans, forests, rivers, you name it. It's the politics. It's the left wing runs the courts, the education system. They run absolutely everything, and I despise left wing thinking. So that is the problem. And the economy sucks because of bad leadership. Am I a Toronto Maple Leafs fan? I was until, I don't know, maybe mid-90s. And I think after the first players' strike with the NHL, I became less of a hockey fan, less of a pro hockey fan, and more of an amateur hockey fan because, you know, pro athletes aren't happy making millions of bucks a year playing a game. And then after the third player strike in the NHL, I gave up on the NHL altogether. So I've seen maybe 3 full NHL games since that happened. Inflation is liberal induced. That is not a question, but I agree. You are absolutely correct. Liberal mindsets always drive countries into debt. Keck is asking, live again, on my way to the weekly Freedom Rally in Hamilton Bayfront Park. Well, Keck is out in Hamilton and he goes to all of the protests and all of the rallies and whatnot. So Keck, thanks for doing what you do, bro. You're amazing. Awesome. What do you think about residential schools and how would you help Native communities? First off, Native school. Oh, okay. Whoa. You're not going to like this answer. I've done my research into this. This is what I do. I'm not someone that takes anything as fact from any news outlet anywhere in the country. I did my own research. This is what I do for a living, is research. The Catholic school boards and the Christian school boards out there, what they were doing is they figured out that natives, they were not able to exist within white culture. They couldn't do it. Native biology is such that they cannot process alcohol or sugar properly. So when you have individuals who have never been around alcohol or sugar before and they start eating it and drinking it en masse, their bodies will begin to shut down. When your body begins to shut down, your mind begins to shut down. So, and I agree that, yes, there were wars all over the place. Natives killing natives, natives killing whites killing natives, whites killing whites. Everybody was killing everybody in Canada. This was a horrible place 150 years ago. But the Christians decided that they were going to try to rescue as many of these children as possible, which they did. And they did so under their own rules. And now, I went to Catholic school. I'm not really a fan of Catholic rules, but when kids are getting an education, learning how to read and write and do all of that, and they're getting it for free, that's usually a pretty good thing. So what happened here is that native chick, we actually covered this on my show 3 weeks ago. I forget her name, but she had this weird radar thing that looks like a lawnmower. And she went out and said, oh, look, there's red marks on the graph that this thing is detecting. And she just came right out and said, it's bodies. She just made it up. She lied. And Justin Trudeau was looking for a distraction. So he ran with the story and said, oh, yeah, look, white people killed native people and we found the bodies. Not one human bone was found. Not one human bone was ever found. The tooth that she said that she found was an animal tooth. That was already proven. So we had this woman lying to the public about the fact that bodies were found. What her ground radar found was some tiles underground. And what they would do back in the day is they would have little troughs that would bring water in. It wasn't even pipes. So they didn't know, or they didn't have the resources to have copper piping in the middle of nowhere back in the 1800s. So they would dig trenches and they would line it with porcelain so that water could flow into the school. And that's what she found. She found the porcelain troughs. Lied. It was all a lie. I'm all for education for everybody. I'm not really a fan of how the Catholics do it. I'm Catholic, I know, and I hate the Vatican City, and I'm not a fan of the Pope. Let me tell you that. Nonetheless, when a native clan has decided to drink themselves into a stupor and the kids are running around with no guidance and no parents, I'm glad somebody rescued them for a while. Would you rather a right-wing fascist government? Serious question. I don't want fascism at all. I would like a right-wing government that cares about the future of its own country, that focuses on education, that focuses on the economy for that country. That's not fascism. That's nationalism. There's a huge difference. I would like to see right-wing leaders who are proud of their heritage defend their heritage and rebuild their countries properly. Fascism sucks. And unfortunately, the left wing, they're the fascists. And I have nothing but evidence to back that particular statement up. And hello, Lena. Thank you for joining us this morning. Let's just check the D Live room for questions. No questions in D Live yet. Rumble, I am watching the Rumble room, everybody. So if you got a question, please feel free to throw it in there. Let's move on here. Okay. I love this guy. Well, thank you, Sushi Rice 00. Certainly do appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Are you a Leafs Nation fan? No. Look, let's just talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs for a quick second, okay? They're sold out. Their tickets are sold out for the next decade and a half. So they don't need to do anything to improve the team. Leaf fans are retards. They will go and pay money to watch the Leafs play no matter how badly they're doing. That's it. No. Why would I do that? Why am I going to give professional spoiled brat athletes my money, first off? And then why would I give Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment any more of my money? They're billionaires. They don't need my money. No. Who cares? And what does it matter if the Leafs win or not? Really, the Toronto Maple Leafs are not going to feed you, or they're not going to educate you. They're not going to pay your car insurance. They're not going to do anything for you. So who gives a crap about professional athletes. Honestly, I used to be a huge hockey fan. I mean, I refereed the game for 30 years. And while I was reffing, I was also coaching the game for 30 years. I did marketing and promotions for, 11 or 12 different professional hockey teams in the International Hockey League before they merged with the AHL. I've actually worked for a couple of CFL teams in the past. I was really into sports when I was younger. I love sports and athleticism. I appreciate it. But the way the leagues are run now, I couldn't care less about them at all. All right, keep going here. Kevin is a joke. Opinions vary. Why do you tell people not to come to Edmonton? I would tell anybody who's looking to live in Alberta not to live in Edmonton. And the reason being is that the city is going down very, very quickly. It's a dangerous place. When you compare it to Calgary, homelessness in both cities are rampant. But the homeless in Calgary are not violent. The homeless in Edmonton are. Also, Edmonton's architecture is very drab. And whether you think so or not, boring and drab architecture lowers your mood. It does. It just crushes your mood. If you drive through any Edmonton neighborhood, what you'll see are houses that are either crap brown or pea yellow or puke beige or off white. Everything is just those four colors repeated everywhere that you go. There's so much concrete in that town that it's just depressing to look at. It's a depressing city because its architecture is horrible. Its layout is terrible. There's only one area that's nice. The mall is cool, all right, but it's a mall. I know it's big. The best part about Edmonton is honestly the water park inside of West Edmonton Mall. It's a very, 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 very good water park. And the wave pool is excellent. So if I'm going to Edmonton, I'm going with my nieces and nephews and taking them to the water park. That's the only reason for me to go. That's it. And then the business opportunities in Edmonton are almost non-existent now. So if you're going there, you're going to be broke. That's why I don't like Edmonton. All right. Stray Maritimer. Natives were slaughtering one another for hunting grounds and territories long before settlers. Yeah, for about 25,000 years before the white man showed up. Absolutely they were. Everybody fights for everything. It doesn't make a difference what color your skin is. It doesn't matter what your background is. Human beings in general just suck. And they will kill each other over the most mundane and stupid, childish, asinine things. True story. Last Real Cowboy 1. Are you still in Alberta, you little punk? Yes, I'm still in Alberta. I'm not too sure what little punk means. Maybe you could clarify if that has some deeper meaning to you. Wow, finally someone smart on TikTok. Hey, thank you for that. Greatly, greatly appreciate that. Natives got more than 40 billion off our coattails. 40 billion is just the starting number. Maybe you don't know this, but all the chiefs on every reserve in Canada, they get millions of dollars per month. And what that money is supposed to do, it's supposed to be used by the chief to build infrastructure, roads, sewers, water pipes, a medical center, schools, whatever it is. But they don't. They don't. The chiefs keep it. That's what they do. So that is why poverty is so rampant on all the reserves in Canada. The chiefs are not doing anything for their people. It's disgusting what the chiefs are doing. It's a horrible system. By the way, there's also no reason to be better on the reserve. So if you are a native living on a native reserve in Canada, and on the reserve, you decide, okay, I'm going to build myself a new house with a driveway and jacuzzi and so on. If the chief likes your house, he'll just take it. And there's nothing you can do about it. That is a dictatorship. No, thank you. We call that despotism. Not a chance. Ethan Schmidt in the live chat on Rumble. Hey, brother, how are you? And I'm looking at this camera here on TikTok and this camera down here for Rumble and Facebook and everything else. So my eyes are going to keep adjusting back and forth. What is wrong with your hair? And did you catch it in a wind tunnel? No. My hair is super thick and it's real. Look, it's real. It's not a wig. I get out of the shower. I grab blow dryer. I go, and that's it. Like 5 seconds of hot air does this. And my hair is so thick, it'll stand like this for the entire day without hairspray. It just means my hair is getting longer and it's time for a haircut. That's all that it means. Okay, next. Okay, so Matt Ward 666, that was addressed in the last two, so you can just go away. The government is claiming to protect our children from parents who don't support being gay. Input. The government believes that they should own your children. I can tell you this. Anybody who works for the Canadian government is doing so because they have a serious lack of intelligence and a serious lack of imagination. They take those jobs because they're idiots. They would never survive working in the private sector. So what they do is they get these really bizarre training sessions where they are told, hey, the average person doesn't know what they're doing. The average person needs us to guide them. And what they want to do is they want to indoctrinate all of our children so that our children are like children in Thailand, where if someone puts something in their mouth that they shouldn't, the child is okay with it. What the school boards are doing right now is they are trying to groom all of our children so that when they are approached for sex by an adult, the kid is going to do it. They're all perverts. The entire school board in Canada, disgusting pigs. That's the Catholic school board too. They're all publicly funded, so they're going to follow everything that Justin Trudeau and every premier of the province says. If you have children in any Canadian school that's publicly funded right now, pull them out. Do not send them back to school in September. The schools are trying to have sex with your kids. That's the truth. All right, moving on. Okay. So told Fort Tick whatever 666. That is incorrect. It wasn't Christians hunting Indians down. Do you know what that was? Do you know who was actually hunting natives? The Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Their job was to go out and try to convert natives into the British way of thinking. And if not, they were to kill them. That's what the RCMP was. They were just a murder force for the longest. They eventually became a police force, but they were just a thugs for hire at the time. Kevin, were you the little wimp that used to get picked on in school? I think everybody gets picked on in school. Yes. So I had bullies that would pick on me in school. And you know what the solution was to that? I decided to become a boxer. So I'm very, 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 very good at defending myself. I can throw a punch and I can take a punch. Was I the little wimp? If you're saying probably not the little wimp, but everybody before grade 9 is a wimp. Let's face facts here. So what I learned, actually, let me address that a bit further here. What I saw in the bullying game is there are a lot of really bad people, and they start off young, picking on people. And if that behavior isn't crushed or quelled by society in general, that person can grow up to be a criminal in the future. And I'm not a fan of seeing anything or anyone suffering. I don't like seeing animals suffering. I don't like seeing people suffering at all. So I learned how to fight to defend myself, but at the same time, I also continue to fight for people who are being picked on by the real bullies, like the police, like bylaw officers in Canada, like the Canada Revenue Agency threatening people to pay tax. I actually do help people with these things because I hate bullies. And you're trying to be a bully here. It's not going to work. I mean, you're not even brave enough to put your own face on your icon, so your opinion means nothing. But I do absolutely hate people who deliberately hurt others. Hey, from Gananoque, Ontario. Thanks for being here. Kevin, have you heard that Olivia Chow wants to do the Toronto Open Doors? Okay. The question, sorry, it's not worded properly, but I know what you're saying. Yes, the new mayor of Toronto, Olivia Chow, who is completely unqualified for the job, is going to open the floodgates for every criminal known to man coming in from Africa and the Middle East to just enter Toronto. Toronto is going to be a far left third world country soon. If you have a house in Toronto, sell it and get the hell out of there. Like now. Okay, next. Okay. So I'm being called a wimp now by some guys here. I mean, obviously, if they were in a room alone with me, they would never say that. If they were in the boxing ring with me, I'm pretty sure that we could cure their rude behavior. Nonetheless. And speaking about that, because I've been challenged to fistfights by a lot of people all over the country. And what I did to get rid of all the Antifa puppies that were yelling at me saying, oh, yeah, I want to kick your ass. I would just say, all right, no problem. I'll fight you. All right, we'll get into a boxing ring. We'll hire a referee who's sanctioned by the Boxing Board of Alberta. And on top of that, all you got to do is just drop $30,000 in escrow to my lawyer as a deposit, which you will get back at the end of the fight. And that way we know you're serious. None of them took me up on it. But then I got challenged to a fist fight by a guy named Jason Esty, who is trying to tell me that the Canadian Bill of Rights is the best document going. It's toilet paper. It doesn't work for anything. So his statement was, if he challenges me to a boxing match and he wins, that I have to admit the Bill of Rights works. But I can't do that because the Bill of Rights doesn't work. It's garbage. But I did say, I accept your challenge to the boxing match. And we booked a date and he never showed. So that's the problem with you guys who want to call me a wimp and challenge me to fistfights. None of you ever show up. So you're wasting my time. Really. All right. I'm going to get rid of this TikTok 666 guy. Bye-bye. We don't need your foolishness here. We're going to start ditching the trolls a whole lot faster for today's show. Block, confirm. So you're out of here. All right. Happy Lad 99. Did I go to jail? Yes, the Canadian government doesn't like the fact that I have exposed a lot of politicians as a journalist. They have locked me up for 7 months of my life in maximum security prisons. They're trying to break my spirit. They were telling me that freedomreport.ca can't exist anymore. I've been threatened by Crown attorneys. I've been threatened by a couple of judges. I've been threatened by cops. I've been threatened by them all. They just don't want me speaking because in a communist country, you can't have people smiling like me who are telling people the truth about how the country functions. It takes their power away. All right. Matt Ward, we're going to get rid of you because you're a moron. Really, really stupid people need to go. Block, confirm. All right. He's one of those guys that has a fake photograph of himself holding a picture with hot abs and whatnot. That ain't you, pal. That's a magazine photo. Next. Oh, could I just shuffle off this mortal coil and do us all a favor? So that's somebody asking me to commit suicide, trying to sound smart, and we're going to get rid of them. You're not smart at all. Okay, confirm. Technically, if you're going to ask someone to commit suicide on a live broadcast, technically, that's the crime of counsel to suicide. You don't want to do that, all right? Really, you just don't. Because there are some police officers in this country that like what I do. And, one day they might be bored and they might look you up and arrest you for it. So be careful when you're telling people to kill themselves on live broadcasts. It's really not smart. Okay. Last Real Cowboy 1. Again, none of what you just said is true. So we're going to get rid of you. I'm not going to let you lie in my room here, guys. Okay. You can ask questions, but you can't come in here and lie. I'm not going to tolerate that nonsense. All right, moving on. All right. How old were you when you first had a girlfriend? Who cares? My first girlfriend, I was 17. Her name was Karen. Yeah, she was a Karen. She was a complaintive, whiny individual, and it lasted, 3 or 4 weeks. So was she really a girlfriend, or was she just someone that came across my path for a short while? Who knows? All right. I give Sportsnet money to watch the Blue Jays in 4K. Then they sell the broadcast to Apple TV. I don't know. I don't care about the Blue Jays at all. Major League Baseball, you want to talk about whiny biatches? Baseball players are the worst. They are the greediest and the most whiny of all sports athletes. What they make me want to watch professional snakes and ladders. That's how much they whine and cry. Okay. So L Lily Freeze 111. Oh, I've already blocked you. You're an idiot. Okay, moving on. Calgary's gangs are violent. Sure. Yeah, gangs, that's what they do. Gangs are called gangs because they have a set code, a set behavior, and usually their goal is to be the dominant gang in the town. And the only way to be dominant when you're dealing with other gangs is to be violent. That's how, I don't condone it, but that's just how it works. You said get out of Toronto. Where would you go? Well, I'm not one to sit here and tell you that Calgary is the greatest city in the country. It's truly not. But it's affordable in comparison to anything in Ontario. And it's affordable because Calgary, if you leave the city limits, within 15 minutes, any direction of leaving the Calgary city limits, you can be on a farm where you can buy farm fresh eggs and meat and vegetables and so on for like 1/5 the price in Ontario. And that's why I like it. The people are nicer in Calgary. It's a clean city. In the summertime, when you're talking about June, July, the sun comes up at 5 a.m. It goes down at about 10 p.m. but the sky has light in it till like 11:15 p.m. It's amazingly long days. In the winter, though, it sucks. The sun comes up around 7:30 in the morning and goes down before 4 o'clock. I hate that. But in the wintertime in Calgary, we get Chinooks, where warm air comes off the mountains and stays in town for a few days. So you can be minus 40 Celsius on Monday and +6 for 2 weeks. And we had a month of warm weather this past winter. It was actually quite beautiful. But, if you're going to leave Toronto and you're going to stay in Ontario, Midland, Ontario, like areas like that, where you can get yourself a farm or a ranch or a big piece of land, that's always worthwhile. Moving on. There's no place in the world more boring than Calgary. Well, if you're an outdoorsman, if you like to hike and run and cycle and ride scooters and socialize, Calgary's pretty good. If you like nightclubs and a big, powerful nightlife where you can go from dance club to dance club, no, then Calgary's not for you. I agree. Calgary doesn't have the booming nightclub life like Montreal does. If you're into the gay stuff, the gay community is very small. If you're into the swinger lifestyle, that is actually very big here. Alberta has more swingers and more swingers clubs than anywhere else in the world. So if that interests you, you've got that. Alberta, remember, it's a huge piece of property. Alberta is bigger than Texas by land, yet there's only about 4.5 million people in the province. So yeah, like it's just, there's not going to be as much to do as Toronto, but whatever you do in Calgary and the surrounding areas, you can afford it. You can't afford Ontario anymore. Now talk about hockey teams. No, why? Who cares? They don't, like I covered that earlier. NHL teams don't do anything for me. I don't care. They don't even have charities anymore. They're so busy making money, they don't give a crap about helping people. Screw the NHL. Lethbridge is the crime capital of the province. Probably. There isn't anything really to do in Lethbridge. I get that. Probably. Their police aren't the best, but yeah, I get that. All right. Let me just have a quick look here. Does this guy hear himself all the time? I love hearing myself, just for the record. All right. Best part about Edmonton is the outskirts of it. If I've got it right, what's that street called? White Avenue, is it? Where all the cool bars and restaurants are. That part of town is really cool. The mall's okay. I don't know. Downtown is horrendous. Downtown Edmonton is just horrible. It looks like a prison, honestly. Okay. You're friends with my dad. Who's your dad? But don't tell me publicly. Like, message me privately. Kevin, your hair's trying to get away from you. Yeah. Okay. Actually, I'm sitting on a battery right now. So there you go. Next. You need to read the Global Constitution and Judicial Notice of January 1st, 2023. Okay. I'm fine with that. Send me a link and I'll read that and I'll have an opinion on it soon. Oh, here's someone. Here's the stupidest comment I've ever heard in my life. This is by Two Old Fools for TikTok. I thought I blocked you. Show the receipts of proof of research, boy. Show the proof of receipts. Like what? You buy research? Is that what you're saying? You're an idiot. God, man, you people are so unbelievable. Let me get rid of that clown. Block. All right, God. Could we try to be a little wiser? Even the trolls that come in here, could you guys maybe try to be a bit more clever with the things that you say? All right. Stop calling us natives. I'm sorry, who's us? If you are an Indian, if you are native, whatever you want to call yourself, you don't speak for everybody. So I'll call people whatever I choose to. The dictionary, every word in the dictionary, 400,000 plus words, they don't belong to you. They really don't. All right. So there we go. Kevin is just a windbag. Oh, why are you here? You came here. I didn't go to your place. You came to my place. Okay. Do you think natives have weaponized the word reconciliation? Well, yeah, it's not just them, though. Yes, but it's also the liberal media. There's no such thing as reconciliation whatsoever, period. It's not going to happen. The native way of life just wasn't compatible with the British way of life. And at some point, there was going to be conflict, which there was. And at some point, somebody had to win the war, which they did. And now what we have here are Indians. Here we go. Curly May. I am native or Indian, dislike indigenous. Bingo. So in the loss of the war, white people gave natives a ton of stuff after they won. I mean, how many victors of a war give people more than what they have? Think about that. As for the term indigenous, that is a word that doesn't mean anything. That is a United Nations term that's designed to make people think that they don't belong somewhere. It's an offensive term. It's horror. It's worse than cisgender. It's a very terrible term. So pick one of two. It's native or Indian. You pick that. And by the way, everyone says, well, Indians were named that way because Christopher Columbus thought he was in India. That's BS, because India was called Hindustan at the time, not India. So knock that crap off. Are these your opinions, or do you have factual evidence? My opinions are based solely on facts that I research for myself. And I do not go to the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, CTV, CNN, or even Fox News for my information. If a story comes by my way, I do my own research. All right. The chief and the 10 council members in my area of Saskatchewan each make more than the reservation. Well, yeah, like that money's supposed to go to the reservation once they get it. The chiefs are like the liaison. They're the demarcation point between Canada and the reserve. And when they get the cash and they don't do anything for the reserve with it, well, as far as I'm concerned, they're criminals. Okay. Do you have a wife? Divorced, but best friends with my ex-wife. So there you go. Yeah, lucky you have beautiful hair. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. How was jail? Kevin, pay all your fines yet? What fines? So again, like you got a smiley face. What fines? Could you tell me what they are? Of course you can't. Do you know why? Because you didn't go to any courthouse to look up my name at the courthouse and see what's outstanding. So if you could tell us what fines, I'm going to give you, let's say, 4 minutes to find any evidence that I owe a fine to somebody. Otherwise, we're just going to block you out of here. Okay, I thought I blocked that last real cowboy idiot. Let's just get rid of him. Confirm. All right. I stopped supporting you when you were sticking up for the Denny's lady. The Denny's? Oh, that's a long time ago. Okay, let's cover that one. Let me actually just find out the date. I can tell you the date of that video that I made. Hold on there. Do that right now. That was 5 years and 2 months ago, that video. So what happened is 2 Islamic guys were screaming and yelling at the top of their lungs at a white woman. And the media said the white woman was at fault, right? But you guys didn't watch the video where the guy is screaming at her saying, shut the F your mouth, shut F. He was using the F word galore. And eventually someone's going to react when they get sworn at in a Denny's. So that, we don't know who started that, but the guys were issuing the threats, not her. So I just told the truth. I didn't defend anybody. I showed the video and made comments on that. So let's be clear on that. Jesus, dude, you are on glue. No, I do not sniff glue. Bad for you. All right. Keep moving on. I'm going to have to skip a whole bunch of stuff here because I'm behind about 5 minutes on comments. All right. All right. Jeff Cummings, stupid question. You're in here just to upset the apple cart. Let's get rid of you. Bye-bye to bad garbage. So, a lot of you are really hung up on what the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation has to say about me. You're really hung up on that. Don't you have anything better to do with your time? Really? Oh, Wolverine. You know what? I could maybe take some car keys and put them in between my fingers here. Yeah, Wolverine. Yeah. I get the hair joke. It's great. I used to be a X-Men fan. So there we go. Kevin, what's your favorite beer? I hate the flavor of beer. Despise it. To me, it always tasted like liquid bread. No, I'm sorry, guys. I can't stand it. I'm actually not really a fan of booze in general. There are very few alcohols I like, and I just don't drink. Only Black Lives Matter, laugh out loud, not. If you're talking about human life in general, it's pretty unique. I'd like to see the human race be here as opposed to not be here. But if we're talking about Black Lives Matter, the group, they are a terrorist organization, well-funded terrorist organization. Okay. Kevin, what is your favorite alcohol? I'm not a drinker, guys. All right, hold on. Let me check the email box. A couple things have come in here. How much weed do you smoke every year? I don't smoke weed. I'm not, guys, I'm not into that stuff. I guess because I'm always smiling, you make the assumption I'm drinking or getting high. I don't want to be high. The problem with alcohol and marijuana and other drugs like that is it stops you from thinking. So if you're walking through life thinking about nothing, you will become nothing. Forget that, man. Not a chance in hell. Kevin, why do you bother with the low IQ detractors? Well, I want to point out, John, how low the trolls' IQs are, and we'll block each one as they come up. It's kind of funny that they'll throw stuff in there. Once in a while, though, I still have to address the questions. I did say that I would answer questions. Now, when the trolls come in and ask the same thing over and over again, we block them as best we can. And unfortunately, the people on Rumble and Facebook down here can't see TikTok up there. So the TikTok comments that come rifling in, and there are a lot of them, are quite amusing. I've got to find some way to get that feed into Rumble down here. Reconciliation means friendly relations. So yes, we can have, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. That's not what it means. It is a made up political term. Reconciliation means white people have to give their land and money away to Indians because Indians say so. That's what reconciliation is. It's all part of that ridiculous UN drip that, thank God, the courts have defeated. No, reconciliation has nothing to do with that. These terms, you're being lied to about what these terms mean. I'm a journalist. I'm a real one. I do the research. No, reconciliation is a bad and ugly word because it has an agenda behind it. That's the truth. All right. I'm watching with my tinfoil hat right now. Well, congratulations. I think tinfoil is better used on keeping your meat warm, but maybe you and I have a different opinion on things. Keep going here. Aren't you supposed to be in jail? Nope. And because, again, you're repeating yourself, let's just get rid of you. That's not a real question. That's just you being a jerk. No, I'm not supposed to be in prison anywhere. Period. Facts. You just said indigenous is a slur. That's not a fact. No. The word indigenous doesn't mean anything because not a single solitary human being is indigenous to North America or even Europe. Human life started in Africa. All right. That's where it started. So human beings, when we were not even walking erect, species was indigenous to Africa. Right. Eventually, people emigrated from Africa, immigrated to Europe, Russia, North America, and so on. So nobody is indigenous to North America. You can get that term out of your head right now. You see, that's where you people get a little bit annoying, is that you don't know what these words mean, and you certainly haven't done your research into the history of our countries, political systems, or our species. I have. It's Indian or it's native. You pick one of those two terms. Indigenous, I don't let anyone get away with that term, period. Why did your eyebrows get stuck like that? You mean like Mr. Spock? Because my mommy and daddy, they loved each other very much and they did some stuff and I ended up being born with eyebrows. That's not even a real question. What kind of research? What are your sources? Well, first things first, if you want to know something about a particular subject, you go straight to the professionals. I would never go to a university professor to find anything out. I would go to somebody who works in the field. If I wanted to know something about radar, I don't phone CBC or CNN. What I will do is I will make contact with radar specialists and invite them out for dinner, buy them dinner, and let them tell me everything they know about radar or LiDAR or ground radar or sonar. I've done my research over the years on even things like Doppler radar, police radar. Now, I've won many court cases for me and other people about the fact that Doppler radar is a scam. Doppler radar, if you're driving, can clock a tree at 40 kilometers an hour. I have been doing research on everything to do with our government, our structure, and technology since I was 18 years of age. That's 30 some odd years of time that I've had to perfect my craft. So my sources are the professionals in the field, never anybody on the left wing. Okay. Hey, Kevin, can't we sue the Liberal government for voting rights and discrimination? Yes, you can. Absolutely, you can. The courts are run by left-wing liberals, unfortunately, so they might toss them out the door. These lawsuits tend to not go too many places, which is really unfortunate. I would like to see the courts actually defend the people, but we, the people, are unfortunately the subjects of the court, and the court will do what it wants. That's why Canada is not a very good place right now, period. All right, let me just check the Rumble room. Okay. Drugs are for people that can't handle reality. Sure. Reality's harsh, everyone. Like, reality really, it's very harsh. Life is hard. Life is painful. It truly is. I've dislocated my right shoulder twice, my left shoulder once, 3 major concussions, 32 broken bones now, soft tissue damage. I'm blind, almost blind in my left eye. I'm partially deaf in my left ear, all from injuries to do with sports or car accidents or whatever else. Yeah, and I have chronic pain in my right arm. You don't hear me crying about it. Life is pain, everybody. I'm not taking drugs for it, period. So people that take drugs are just weak mentally. They're looking for that quick way out. There's no quick way out of your problems. You got to solve them, period. Okay. Oh, Pamela, send me your phone number. I want to give you a call after this one because I want to make you the mod for the next one that we do here. All right. Here's a stupid question. What's it like being a traitor to the Canadian people? You need to ask Joy de Gondek that, Justin Trudeau that, his entire cabinet. Ask them what it's like to be a traitor. I am a patriot. I'm the one that helps Canadians who can't help themselves. The government that we have right now have committed high treason by making deals with communist China and Saudi Arabia and the Aga Khan to completely destroy our own culture. Those are the traitors. And because you're an idiot, you got to go too. All right, there we go. All right. Whoever it was that was trying to make a point, they haven't made a point yet. So let's move on. Canadian Charter and the Bill of Rights is only for actors. Okay. The Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms was something that Trudeau's father did when he was in power, specifically and only to make it seem like he did something. The problem is, if you read clause number 1 of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms in this country, it says that in a decent society, we won't make laws to inhibit your life unless we feel like doing so, in which case we will, which negates the rest of it. And the Bill of Rights has only successfully been used in court once. So it means it's useless, unfortunately. We don't have a culture as white people in Canada. We used to, but everyone who's white fell for this propaganda that white people are racist, right? Just because they want to exist. So white people let their own culture die through fear and cowardice and gutlessness and laziness. And white people should gain their culture back in some way, because white culture in Canada in the 70s and 80s was friggin' awesome. It was awesome. Okay. Interesting how everyone who disagrees with you is somehow an auto idiot and needs to go. No, it's people that come in here asking stupid questions that are designed to try to upset me. It's not going to happen. Those are the idiots. Those are the ones who don't have anything to say. They don't have a real question to ask. They're trolls. They're trying to get an emotional rise. So I'll tell them what they are and then get rid of them, because we're not here to entertain trolls. We're here to answer questions of people that actually have real ones. All right. What's white culture in the 1970s? Backyard barbecues, going to work on time, educating your kids, playing soccer, playing hockey, watching the hockey game. Family gets together, has a big buffet dinner or a potluck dinner. White culture is making maple syrup or having a bonfire when it's freezing cold outside, building snow forts. That's culture. All of that is culture, whether you think so or not. And Canada used to sell itself to the world, saying, look what we have. We have the CN Tower in 1976. We have an underground train system here. We have travel back and forth to our cities. Our cities are decorated at Easter time and Christmas time. We are proud of our heritage. We're proud of our British heritage, our Canadian heritage, and so on. That is culture. It truly is. Yeah, and people who say that's not culture, you have no idea what culture is, period. You might think that culture is a costume and dancing. That's part of it, but that's not all of what culture is. So why do all the politicians know about Justin Trudeau's Epstein Island visits and they hide it? Because they're being paid to shut up, or because they know that there'll be retribution if they talk about it, period. That's why. Cowards. All cowards. Okay, British culture was developed by white people because after the Romans vacated Britain, everybody was white. So yes, that is white culture. Come on, man. Be a little smarter with your commentary. Really, I'm now going to start to ask you all, could you just be a little more clever? Think it through before you speak. All right, moving on here to the Rumble Room. Okay, no new questions there. Let me check email. All right. How long have you been a journalist? Full-time, 6 years. How long have I been an investigator? I used to be a private investigator in my 20s, skip tracer and so on. So I've investigated things since, honestly, like my early 20s. So white Jews and white Germans were the same white culture. No, they weren't. Germany is not the same culture as Poland. Poland is not the same culture as Romania. Romania is not the same culture as England. England is not the same culture as France. No, they're all different cultures. Different anthems for different reasons, different histories, different natural resources, different layout of the land, different desires, and so on. All right. Do you believe in censorship? Not in a society, no. I censor people here who are behaving like fools because I'm not going to waste my time talking to you. This is my time, not yours. So I'll just get rid of you. But in a society, in order to have a society grow, we all need to risk being offensive. So if we're going to censor ideas, thought processes, jokes, whatever it might be, we are weakening our society because we're not going to hear the best ideas out there. What cell block are you on? I'm in your mother's bedroom right now, so let's just get rid of you. I'm going to tap, manage, and goodbye. Confirm. Bye-bye. He only had like 10 followers, so who matters? He doesn't matter. Thoughts on Thucydides' trap as it relates to the USA and China? Well, my thoughts on any trap as it pertains to the United States and China is that they're going to trap themselves in their own particular personal goals or their own national goals or their own party goals. So there is no trap aside from what they lay out for themselves. If Joe Biden, who doesn't even know where he is half the time, if Joe Biden, who honestly is like delivering feces into his own pants, if he has an idea, it's a bad one. If communist China has an idea, it's a bad one. Because communism doesn't work at all. And the Chinese right now, they're in such trouble with their population. They overstated their population by 150 million. They don't have a workforce anymore. So let's think about this. The traps that have been laid were laid by themselves. And I couldn't care less at this particular point which one of them wins, honestly. Okay. Well, you're doing a good job being offensive. Well, that's subjective. All right. That's up to you. If you think I'm offensive, no one asked you to be here. Feel free to leave anytime. Okay. Truck driver. Hold on. I saw a good one there. As a truck driver, I have a question. Why do cars cut off trucks on the ramp lane? I'll just be honest here, because the average person is an asshole. That's why. What do we figure? I figure between 50 and 70% of people that have a driver's license shouldn't have a driver's license. I think we can agree on that. I think that our manners in our society, we are not enforcing manners anymore. If you walked up to someone's wife and called her a name in the 70s or the 80s, her husband would step right in and knock you right out. He would just knock you out. If you were to cut somebody off in the 70s or the 80s, they would make note of who you were, and at the next light they would get out and knock you out. Manners were something that were enforced by society. We don't enforce manners anymore. We encourage people to be rude. There are people that are rude for a living on TikTok and on Instagram and so on, where they're deliberately upsetting people, deliberately being jerks, and for whatever the reason, society likes watching this stuff and eggs them on. So why did they cut them off? Unskilled, low intelligence quotient, no manners, nobody cares about anybody anymore, selfishness. And in general, we're not really enforcing any of the the politeness on the roads that we used to have in the 70s. For example, if you were going to follow somebody on an American highway, it was considered bad manners if you got in behind them to follow them for less than 10 miles. Right? It's bad manners. When a truck was passing you, it's always good manners to flash your lights when the trailer has made it past your car by 10 feet. And then the truck driver would pull in front of you and flash his lights to say thank you. Like, we don't know these rules on the road anymore. Our society has forgotten everything that was good about our society. It's really unfortunate. Okay. Many countries are changing like Canada. Do you think Canada is resisting more than other countries? No, I think this country is giving in to every communist, Marxist, left-wing stupid idea. We don't have a country anymore. We have a mess. Canada is a mess because we have weak men in charge and we have disgustingly angry women in charge alongside with them. We have bad people who are weak and stupid running this country into the ground, and Canadians are too cowardly to do anything about it. That's the problem. Okay. Like Trudeau, don't disagree. What? I don't even know what that means. China isn't communist anymore. They have more billionaires than America does. Okay. Because the Chinese government is communist, but they're also smart. Only from the standpoint of, if someone's going to make them $1 billion and put money in their pocket and help them control the rest of the population, they're going to allow it. Don't think for a second that communist leaders live communist lives. People who control the lives of others often are very rich, and they're controlling others so that they can keep more food, more money, more property, more power to themselves. That's what it's all about. It's just power. Have you heard about Trudeau visiting the Robert Picton farm? I shouldn't get into that one. Oh my God, because Picton is getting out of prison next year. And there's a friend of mine who's been speaking with him about the possibility of doing an interview with me. And that's all I'm going to say about the Penticton thing, the Picton farm. I can't get into it. All right. Kevin, who knows, was on Epstein Island because he gave the handies. So if you're accusing me of being on Epstein's Island, you have to go bye-bye, which you are going, oh, look at that. No followers. You open the account specifically to make that stupid comment. So bye-bye to you. Thoughts on Donald Trump? Best president America ever had. Donald Trump made a fortune in America, lost it, and then rebuilt it. He is someone who understands what America is. The United States of America is the most unique thing that's ever been created in our species history. And he thrived in that society. So he wanted that society to thrive, which he did. So he's the only one that ever got Palestine and Israel to sit down and talk. That's what he does. He walked over to North Korea. He's looking at that ridiculous president they have, and he says, may I enter your country? Oh, yeah. And he did. He started to get North Korea to actually talk. He was an amazing president. Before him was the second worst president America has. After him is the worst president America has. Okay. What happened to the Chinese police station here? Still there. Just the media won't talk about it. They were told to shut up, so they shut up. That's all. Okay. Why does the Crown Corporation breed corruption to such an extent? Because nobody does anything about it. That's why. Because nobody cares. Because the average person's so busy paying their own bills and living their own life and watching the stupid Maple Leafs that they don't care what's going on in corruption-wise. And I've tried having this conversation with the average person. The average doesn't have the IQ to understand what I'm talking about. So the average will never do. They'll say stuff like, oh, that's just terrible, isn't it? Oh, my God. And they'll go back to their lives. So stupid people will remain stupid, and the corrupt will continue being corrupt because stupid people don't understand it and won't do anything about it, period. All right. So you want morality police? No, I want less police. I want less policing of ideas, less policing of people. I want fewer cops on the street. We don't need more. We need less policing. We need our society to flourish. Do you know Japan has so little crime because of their free market enterprise system that they've actually had to fire police? There aren't enough crimes to have police officers walking around. Japanese people are so proud of their country that they don't ruin it, right? Think about that. There we go. If you've heard enough roasted garlic, bye. Get out of here. We don't care. You speak like an entitled white man. I'm a white man who's had the Canadian government take everything from me. The Canadian government, because I talk about them and expose them, took my house, my car, my money. They took everything from me. I have nothing left to my name at all. There's no privilege here. There's no entitlement here. I speak because I'm trying to help other people navigate this ridiculous society that we live in now. Period. And that sounds like a racist comment, don't you think? Right? What does my skin color have to do with this? Okay. People didn't wear seatbelts in the 70s. That's true. I have very fond memories because back in the day, cars were like 20 feet long and the interiors were huge, huge. And the back dashboards were massive. I have memories of sleeping on the back dashboard of my dad's car when we were driving long distances. I have memories of playing board games in the back of a station wagon because station wagons back then were huge and the back windows were always open to let airflow go through the car. We didn't wear seatbelts in the 70s. All right. Some people like veteran Jamie McKenzie's say voting is pointless. Well, voting has become pointless. I know. I've run in 3 elections. It's all over. But I can't tell you what the solution is, unfortunately, because the cops will be kicking my door down, which is really sad. Period. Jeremy McKenzie's been right on quite a few things, by the way. All right. Yeah. And John, you're saying entitled white man, shut up, child. Correct. The people that don't have a structured argument based on fact will just go and say stuff like, oh, you're racist. You're Islamophobic. You're homophobic. Oh, check your white privilege. They'll say that because they have no argument and they know I'm right. And they know that they have no argument. So they go to insults. All right, keep going here. What country do you think has strong men leading? Russia. Vladimir Putin. Strongest man in the world right now. Absolutely the strongest man in the world right now. Banff Buck, we're going to block your stupid ass. Let's get you out of here. Bye-bye. Confirm. All right, you're out of here. And Mr. Grumpy, my whatever, that's a long name. I remember that kind of driving habit. Oh, yeah. As kids, we used to stand up and like dance around. When we were young, the cars were so big that my brother and I, when we were kids, like toddlers, 5, 6, 7 years of age, we would take our security blankets and make forts. Yeah, like we'd make forts in the back of the car. Woo! Because driving from Toronto to a place like North Bay was horrendous in the 70s. The highways were all these 1-lane pieces of junk. It took 7 hours to get. It takes like 3 hours now, but back then it took 7. All right, next, keep going here. Doug Ford hasn't done anything. Well, he's ruined things. If you want the truth, I believe he was the one that gave his brother the drugs to kill him. That's my personal belief. I've also had a very interesting conversation with not one but 2 of Doug Ford's former drug dealers. But I'm sure if I was to divulge what I was told, Doug Ford might have a bullet put in my head. So there we go. I thought we blocked this guy. Hold on, let me just get rid of this guy. Block. Okay, you're out of here. All right, let's keep going here. China is capitalism, only in very set areas. Beijing, Japan, and Hong Kong for now. That might change. Okay, you're going to move to the United States. We're going to be doing a show in 2 weeks about American housing prices versus Canadian housing prices. If you have the means to move to the United States, go. Believe me, go. But Republican states only. Don't go to blue states. They're crazy. Okay, let's go. Thank you, Kevin, for standing up. Well, you're very welcome, and thank you for being here. I certainly do appreciate that. Let's keep. Everyone had more disposable income under him. I assume you mean Donald Trump. That's absolutely correct. Okay, and I'm going to get rid of some domofo. You're out of here too. All right. Try to keep your commentary a little bit more polite if you could, please. Okay. Let's just shoot down a bit here. Okay, I'm going to catch up now. I'm going to go to if I've missed the last 5 minutes of comments on TikTok here, I will apologize to you. All right. You don't think the USA is in a worse position than Canada? I think Democrat states are in horrible positions right now. Absolutely. So I would not go to California, for example, right now. But if I was given the choice between California in the outskirts of a major city and Toronto, I would take California in the outskirts. Toronto and Southern Ontario is that bad. And the decisions that are being made by city councils all over Southern Ontario, they don't make any sense. Like Hamilton, Ontario, which is like Canada's Pittsburgh, it makes a lot of steel, or at least it used to. It has over 100 waterfalls in it. Like Hamilton is on an escarpment. They call it Hamilton Mountain. It's not a mountain, but it's big. So there's waterfalls everywhere. And the Hamilton City Council has now put fences up around every one of these waterfalls, and they've got police there giving you tickets if you try to go over the fence and go swim in the waterfall or the pools there. Like, you're just not allowed to do anything in Southern Ontario anymore. And that COVID nonsense, that scam, Niagara Falls has become a ghost town. So Southern Ontario is it's ruined. It's done. So far, I've viewed your vids, love them. And these kind of days, we aren't allowed to have an opinion. Sad. I know I'm not actually saying what I really want to say. I am toning it down, believe me, because in Canada, you go to prison if you tell the truth too much. Believe me. What do you okay, here we go. In the Facebook room, what do you think about what happened to the election here in Toronto? All my family voted for Chris Sky. It's rigged. Olivia Chow, who is a communist plant, by the way, didn't campaign properly because she didn't have to. She was told by the powers that be she had it in the bag. Right? I think we all knew that, but I love Chris Sky. I was really hoping that he would have won. They are not going to let him have more than 1% of the vote. They're just not. I scared the crap out of the entire political industry by placing second in the Mississauga mayor race, Canada's 5th biggest city by population. I placed second. That terrified the establishment. So they're just not going to allow anyone to get in there and have more than 1% of the vote because they don't want us to have hope. That's what it's all about. All right. John says Niagara Falls is hopping again, especially with the border jumpers. Well, yeah. John, you and I should talk about that because there's a lot of illegals coming into Canada. The Americans are throwing them out and they're coming into Ontario now. All right. Oh, there's another stupid ass. Oh, someone who created a brand new account just to ask a stupid question and get thrown out of here. What is it with you people, man? Like, really, who creates an email address and then a TikTok account to come in here and say something stupid to get blocked? Like that, you really need to find something better to do with your time. Kevin, do you know who the World Marshal Authority is in the Republic of Canada? Well, I know some of the members of the Republic of Canada, but I would rather they answer questions about their republic than me, mainly because I have not been to any of their meetings and I have not read any of their meeting minutes. So I don't know entirely what their goals are. I have an idea, but I'm not going to offer an opinion on them because I simply haven't done the research on that. The whole world's a mess because of criminal politicians. Correct. Also, a lot of evil billionaires that like to make these politicians crooked, but also the fact that the general populations out there don't do anything to stop it. France is now. The French have had enough. So they are going to rip their government apart. Good. Get them out of there. And someone, oh, look at that. FP9012. You're another one of those fools that comes in here to waste everyone's time. So you're out of here. This is the third time I'm doing this question and answer period on TikTok. So we notice, I've noticed since I've been blocking the trolls, there are fewer trolls today, which is great. Would you say I chose to be gay if later puberty age 12 looked at other boys instead of girls? What? Rephrase that question. That question didn't make sense. Let me guess you think Florida's doing great. I have friends in Florida right now, in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, Florida, Orlando, Tampa, St. Petersburg, Tarpon Springs, and even Key West. Florida is absolutely just kicking ass economically. It's doing fantastically. All right. Keep going here. Wow, I was born in Hamilton. I lived in Hamilton in 1990, I think here. It would have been 93 on Locke Street, right beside the Yum Yums Chinese food restaurant. That guy was actually pretty cool. He always gave us discount egg rolls and discount spicy chicken. I like the guy. I'm not gonna lie, he's a cool guy. All right, hold on. Alberta born and raised. Well, I'm an Albertan now. Wasn't born here, but certainly appreciate being here. Alberta is gorgeous. It really is. Are we becoming to one government? I think you're saying, is the world becoming one world government? They're going to have a very difficult time doing that, considering the fact that it takes 15 hours, for example, to fly from Toronto or New York to Hong Kong. If these world controllers want to do this, it takes too long for them to travel from place to place to place. I mean, to get from Toronto to, let's say, Christmas Island, if you want to watch those red crabs migrate all over the place, I'd have to fly from Calgary to Hong Kong. That would be about 12 hours. I'd have to fly from Hong Kong to Sydney. That's another 15 hours. I'd have to fly from Sydney to Perth. I think that's 6 hours, if I got that right. I would then have to charter a boat and get myself more towards the islands that are west of Indonesia, and so on. It would take 3 days to get there, and that's with airplanes. So it's very difficult to control that much land, considering that our technology doesn't allow us to fly really any faster than 540 miles an hour right now. So I wouldn't worry about a one world government, but I would worry when your country, like Canada, is trying to be a part of that and trying to become communist. Then you need to find somewhere else to go. That's what I'm getting at. Okay. And Hickey Room, whatever, you're an idiot. Okay, moving on. What refugees being settled in Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, the most expensive cities in the country? Why are they being pushed there? Because what's going to happen here, and this has been proven, and I've already shown this, I did videos on this 6 years ago, is that when you bring immigrants in, they will always vote for the party that was in power when they came here. So what they get is they get propaganda pieces saying, you need to vote for us. So if you get another 100,000 people voting for you, you're going to win all the time. It's election rigging, but it's also designed to interfere. Thank you, Don Desime, for the rose. I appreciate that. It's also designed to interfere with our personal lives, people that have been here for years, who own property, who have children in school, who are trying their best to do the right thing. When you bring that many illegals in, and they are illegals, from countries that are violent and they have low intelligence quotients, violence will skyrocket. And that is where they can say, oh, violence is up. So now let's hire more police. Let's put 15-minute cities into place. Let's charge you more tax. Let's control your lives more. That's what mass immigration is meant to do, to destabilize the local economies in the places where they go. Okay. What do you think about the international treaty signed in January between U.S., Canada, and Mexico? Well, I think that no matter what treaties Canada signs, Canada is going to lose because weak leadership will dictate that we lose. What do I think about the treaty? Not much. It's not going to benefit us in any way. Canada is not going to make more money because of it. I can tell you that right now. America might make more money if they're willing to pilfer Canada's natural resources. Personally speaking, I'd rather see Alberta become the 51st state under Donald Trump in office. I would love that. And then we don't have to worry about that treaty, because if Alberta splits, Saskatchewan and Manitoba will also split. Trust me when I say this. And so try keeping Canada together as the territories, British Columbia, with a 3 time zone divide between it and Toronto. Not going to happen. There you go. Yes, and Curly May, you're correct. The Canadian government always undersells we, the people of Canada. That's absolutely true. Okay. We need militia groups to take our country back. I can't agree with that or disagree with that because the police are watching, but I'm just going to wink. Okay. I loved your interviews with Chris Sky. You both know the corruption in Canada. Yeah, Chris is a very clever man. I can tell you that right now. See, I've had many private conversations with this guy where we're not talking to the camera. We're not talking to an audience. It's just he and I sitting around his kitchen chatting. Smart guy. And that's why the government can't stand him, is that, first off, he's buff. He's good looking. He's buff. He encourages people to get out and exercise. I mean, look at the size of that thing there. All right. Look at that. He's encouraged me to be better. All right. I am stronger than most men who are 50. Let me tell you that. And Chris Sky, not only is he intelligent and he knows about corruption, but he's also humble. He actually likes people. He will take the time and talk to everybody. So I'm proud to know him. And I'm actually honored that he's on my speed dial on my phone. And no, I'm not going to give you his phone number. You can go to his website. He'll give it to you. Paul. Hey, Paul. Long time no see. What do you think it would take to bring Canadians together again like a truckers' convoy? Paul. Oh, God. I want to answer that question so bad. I want to tell you the like even the strategy that I've cooked up on paper. I would love to tell you that, but I can't because the RCMP would kick my door down if I did. But you and I, Paul, I can tell you anything I want privately. So why don't you and I talk privately? You know how to reach me. All right. Good to see you again, by the way. Thanks for being here. All right. Let's move our way down here. More questions. What about 50 billion plus illegal monies coming into Canada and our government not stopping it? Our government's not going to stop it because they're in on it. Housing prices are so high in Canada because of money laundering. This Canada is the place to go if you want to commit fraud. We are very, very weak on fraud and white collar crimes in Canada. So someone who might steal $1 billion, he might get 30 days in jail. You know, the Americans will lock you up for 10, 15 years. They take fraud very seriously. This country doesn't. Everyone's in on it. Okay. We are the second largest country in the world. Well, yes, by land, yes. By population, no. Settle refugees in less populated areas. Don't bring them in the first place, okay? When you're bringing people into your country, they should benefit your country first. The idea of immigration is to have more scientists, more doctors, more thinkers, more philosophers, more highly skilled people coming in to benefit your country and your people, right? You don't bring garbage in. And that's what we're doing. We're bringing in the worst of the worst of the worst. Whoa! Don Desimi, thank you for the 10 roses. Mwah. Greatly appreciate that. Thank you very much. Kevin, wasn't life better when you weren't in a scumbag RCMP jurisdiction? Well, yeah, until the last 5 or 6 years. And then being in Peel Region, where the far left-wing Peel Regional Police exist, no, it was terrible. Peel Region, which encompasses Mississauga, Brampton, and Caledon, next door to Toronto, that is just like the absolute most corrupt police force in the country. They're horrible. They absolutely are. So I'm glad to not be around those guys. They were staking me out of my house. They were harassing me all of the time. And the worst part of it is they're such weak people. They're wimps. But you got wimps with guns and body armor constantly like, hey, Johnston, we're gonna screw you up, like threatening me all the time. So I'm glad to be away from them. The RCMP doesn't actually come to threaten me anywhere in Alberta. So we'll give them that. I mean, they suck, but Peel Regional Police suck more. That's the truth. All right. Ontario needs to stop voting for Trudeau. Downtown Toronto is left-wing libtard central, so they're going to keep voting for Liberals, unfortunately. And the way that Canada's politics are structured is that whoever wins Toronto essentially wins the country. There are too many voting regions, or there are too many districts in Southern Ontario. So essentially at 9 p.m. Eastern time, whenever there's a federal election, it's over. Whoever wins Ontario wins the leadership. What do I think about all these people coming into Canada and are homeless on the street? They should have stayed in their own country. We can't bring people in that have no skills. We no longer have the money or the infrastructure to house them. We just don't, period. Maybe their countries need them more than we do. I don't know. I'm not in their countries, but I can tell you that it's a bad idea to water down your own culture and your own population this way. It's only going to lead to one thing: civil war. That's the only thing that can happen now. All right, so Hattie Kaki Room, whatever it is, you've asked the same question a couple of times. You're being a dumbass. Your avatar is a flower plant, so you're not brave enough to show your face, which means you have to leave. And goodbye to that. All right. California has a better economy. Well, yeah, California's got the same population as the entire country of Canada. So no matter how bad it gets democratically speaking, there's still going to be money in California. That's just how it is. But major corporations, they're all leaving for Texas and for Arizona. Trudeau has been working hard to ruin Canada. Yes, he's under the thumb of the Aga Khan. The Aga Khan gives him his instructions. He does what he's told. So I suppose he's doing a good job destroying the country. There you go. Are you going to run for Calgary mayor again? If I was going to run for public office again, somebody would have to come to me saying that we're going to fund this and we already have all the staff in place. I'm not doing it again, mainly because it's difficult to find good people. And God bless everybody who came in to help me with the campaign, but they didn't know how to run a campaign. So I ended up being the candidate, the fundraiser, the podcaster, the graphic designer, the marketeer. I had to plot and plan all of my own events. It got to be a bit much. I mean, I'm thankful for them handing out flyers and putting signs up, but that's just not enough. I have to have a campaign manager, someone that knows what they're doing. And if there's not going to be a campaign manager, the answer is no. It's exhausting. I'm 26. By the time I retire, the retirement age will be raised to 80. Well, in this country, yeah. I don't know why you'd want to be in this country past age 30. I really don't. I don't want to discourage young people from anything. But if you don't go into the trades, you're never going to make money in this country, period. Get into the trades. Stonemasons can name their price. Electricians, there's a lot of them, but you still get paid quite well. Plumbers, there's money in that. And what you could also do is if you want to get into being an airplane mechanic, holy crap, there's not enough of those. If you know how to repair helicopters, you're like $150 an hour, man. So there are things that you can do, but it's all trades. It's all working with your hands. White collar is done in Canada, period. Am I in Canada? Yes, I'm in Calgary, Alberta. I used to live in Toronto. If we need to do a global workout. No one go to work, no one pay bills. Boots go to Ottawa. Do you really think the Canadians are going to do that? I mean, look, the truckers' convoy was amazing. It really was. But here's the other problem, is that people that lived in Ottawa, here's what they said. And I'll say it the way that it sounded to me. People are honking their horns. Like that's what they're concerned about, is horn honking. They weren't concerned about the excessive property tax, excessive income tax, mass immigration on a weaponized scale. They weren't concerned about the fact that the pedophiles run the school board. They didn't care about that. They cared about horns. So when you've got the citizens of that city, the capital city, crying about horns, you can imagine what all other things Canadians are going to cry about. I don't think they're ever going to get together again and take it to the government the way they should. No, Canadians, they don't have fighting spirit, unfortunately. Okay. Anybody who wants to come in live with me, I'm okay sharing the screen with you, but we have to talk in advance, okay? I have to vet people before I bring them on. Thoughts on Chris Sky? Well, I've already said he's a hell of a guy, humble human being, hardworking guy, smart as hell. He really is smart as hell. And he works out. The guy's buff. And there's a lot of men out there, beta cucks out there, jealous of Chris Sky because he's cut. Like, he's got the chest, he's got the V shape, the abs, right? The guy's got muscle everywhere. And as strong as I am, benching well over 250 pounds, he benches more. He's a strong guy. Don't be jealous of him. Learn from him. That's what you should do. My family is still in Hamilton, but I'm in Alberta now in Calgary. Oh, awesome. Well, let's have tea, okay? Let's. All the casinos in this city have $5 breakfast. So let's do a breakfast together. That'd be awesome. Hamilton here. What's the topic of discussion today? Answering people's questions. So there's no specific topic. If people have a question, I answer. We got one here in Facebook. What do you think? Pierre Poilievre is talking about bringing in nurses and doctors. Why don't they bring out nurses and doctors back before bringing them in from other countries? Because, yes, you're right. I don't want to be treated by people that were trained in other countries, unless it's Brazil or Cuba, because those doctors are trained very, very well. Our doctors and nurses are leaving because they don't want needles, and I don't blame them. Also, you can make more money. The training to be a nurse, for example, in Canada is excessively high. And American hospitals, they're private. So they'll say, hey, listen, we'll pay you $15 more an hour, pay your relocation fee, and we're going to pay your rent for the first 3 months so you don't have any stress. Americans are amazing. If they want to hire you, they pay for everything. I love working for American corporations. And that is why our doctors are leaving. I don't want foreign doctors here. Our own doctors should be encouraged to stay, but our government is encouraging them to leave. So, and why would they stay? There's no real benefit anymore. They're working double shifts now. Yeah, in some cases, they're getting ripped off. They're not even getting their full paychecks. So, yeah, they should leave. And I think every Canadian should leave as well. I honestly do. Oh, another stupid ass. I thought you were in jail. Nope. You thought wrong. And you're out of here. Okay. Is there even a political solution to the moral decay of our society? No. No, there isn't. There is a solution, which I can't talk about here, unfortunately. Maybe I should write a book about what the solution is. But I'm sorry, I can't tell you what it is. I wish I could. That's a legal thing, by the way. We need to get rid of money. That argument goes both ways. We need to get rid of money being controlled by 1% of the population. There was one currency that was hyper successful. Benjamin Franklin cooked it up. It was called colonial scrip. The 13 colonies had their own money. And what they did is they released just enough money into the economy to keep the economy flowing. And it was just amazingly positive for the American people. The Brits came in and wanted to scrap that currency because they couldn't tax it. They were going to try to force the pound sterling on the American people. That's why the revolution happened. It wasn't tea. It was money. Okay. Can I define communism and how Trudeau has made Canada more communist? Communism is where the state controls everything, your thought processes, education, how business runs. It controls how municipalities are going to run. It controls every facet of your life. It also controls what the media says. And that's exactly what's happening now. Trudeau paid off CBC, CTV, Toronto Star, City TV, Calgary Herald, Vancouver Sun, all of them. He paid them off to utter his propaganda to the entire country. That's communism. Section 319 of the Criminal Code says you can't offend people. That's communism. When the free market is stifled by the government deliberately, that's communism. There's no two ways about it. This is a communist country. Everything is controlled. You can't even build what you want on your own land if you're in the middle of nowhere. You somehow have to get permits for that and report to the local authorities what your plans are. That's communism. If you're buying land in the middle of nowhere, you should be able to do whatever the hell you want with it. The Americans have that in place. We don't. It's communism. What is the blood yapping on about? Well, if you don't like what I'm saying, get out of here. You don't have to stay. Waving flags and yelling freedom doesn't work. Correct. Bankrupting your local politicians does. I've said this before. If 1 million Canadians all got together and filed 1 million lawsuits against various politicians, they would run. They would run. You'd bankrupt them. You can bankrupt people. It is possible, but that means you have to have balls. Canadians don't have that, unfortunately. Okay, I looked at boys instead of girls after puberty at age 12. Okay, I'm not understanding the question. Could you rephrase the question, please? And I'll answer it, no problem. How much did we spend treating your hypothermia? You're welcome. $0 and 0 cents, and you're just being a tool, so you're out of here. We don't need toolboxes here. So there you go. Oh, someone's calling me a bigot, hate monger, and a fascist. You're a fascist. You got to go. You're out of here. Confirm. Are you talking about Ukrainian refugees? Nope. Ukraine came up, but not in that particular fashion. Now the weather is nicer. You can try to flee the country. And all right, just someone being a sarcastic. Oh, and look at that. You created an account specifically to say that. All right. Find something better to do with your time. My existence should not be that important to you. Blocked. This is fun. Blocking people is fun. Paul's back. Do you know of any political party that has a promise on their platform to hire and bringing back? No, actually, Paul, I don't. I don't think that the average Canadian person understands that as a problem. So to politic on that would be pointless because the average person doesn't understand it. The average person would react to things like, hey, I'm going to kill property tax for 5 years. They get that. Hey, I'm going to give you free money. The average person understands that. Hey, I'm going to alleviate and kill all your student debt. They get that. Hey, we're going to have a better program for nurses to stay in Canada to keep you healthy. People don't understand that. You're not going to win on that platform, Paul. So unfortunately, we have to promise. If you're going to run for politics, you have to lie. You got to lie. You got to tell the stupid population what they want to hear, and then do what you want after you get into office. That's really what it boils down to. Okay. Lena, thanks for being here. God bless you as well. All right. Wow, you know your thing. Well, thank you. I pride myself on education. One of the life choices that I made to get here, like everything's a bit of a stepping stone. All right, everything. But I started to realize very young that there's a lot of power in words, and people took advantage of me and others when I was younger because I didn't understand the nuance of language. So I chose to, instead of reading Mad Magazine on the toilet, I would read the dictionary. And I would end up like sitting on the toilet. Like I didn't even realize it. Like I'm done. My business is done, but I'm still reading the dictionary because words are so amazing. And then I discovered this word called etymology. So where do words come from? Etymology would be the history of language and of words specifically. So every word would lead to a historical story, which would lead to historical figures, which would lead to historical facts. Yeah, words are incredible. So I'll make this statement for you here. Hyper successful. Actually, let's start off with just the average. The average man at age 40 knows about 40,000 words. Okay. But hyper successful businessmen of the same age, they know about 80,000 words. So think about that. Now, since every word in the English language, to which there are about 400,000 right now, is attributed to an invention, a thing, an event, a person, an idea, a concept, like any of these things. If someone knows 80,000 words and you know 40,000 words, that person knows 40,000 more things than you. So words became highly important to me. And then words led me into history, which led me into technology, which led me into philosophy. So all of these ideas came from the study of words. I highly recommend that all of us read the dictionary. Never mind playing stupid games, fruit whatever on your phone. No, read the dictionary, please. I beg everybody. Oh, okay. I thought we blocked this 80s idiot. So let's get rid of him one more time. Hold on, block. You people seem to think I have fines to pay, to which I don't. If you know what fine I've got to pay, go to the courthouse, get a copy of it, and show us. Okay, and what's up, 661? You're just here to cause trouble. So let's get you out of here. Bye-bye. That's okay. The number of trolls, they're coming down, everybody. All right? BC86 is calling me boring. Hey, you chose to be here, not me. All right, there you go. Laugh my ass off, guy said Chris Sky is good looking. You don't have to think so. I don't care if you think so or not. Make a difference to me. I'm heterosexual. I would much rather be a good looking woman than I would a good looking guy. But I will observe when a guy is ugly as hell. And as men, we can tell each other that kind of stuff. Okay. I would also like to see us under a 51st state under Trump. What a different province Alberta would be, or state. Yeah, it would be incredible. Why is Pierre's campaign manager a WEF crony? Because the World Economic Forum pays him. That's it, money. Just look no further than money. Occam's razor states that the simplest explanation is often the truest. Cash. Here you go. Oh, by the way, not only am I going to give you cash to agree with us, here's a brand new Porsche and a summer home. Money, property, wealth. That's it. Why would I keep looking at guys at an older age knowing the extreme hate towards me? I have no idea what that means. So rephrase the question, please. You just gained a follower because of your view on immigration, my friend. Thank you very much. Don't worry, that view is never going to change. All right, excellent. I've called CSIS many times. They hang up on me after trying to have a conversation with them. But they're not going to talk to you. That institution's kind of a joke. They really are. They know our government's corrupt. They make reports on it all the time, but they don't have any powers of arrest. And that sucks. I really wish that CSIS could go and arrest the RCMP and everybody in the Liberal Party. We need kingdom men to rise under the rule of God to take back the land. Yeah, well, There aren't enough strong men in society yet because Canadians haven't suffered enough yet. But you will. When the bank rate goes over 10%, you will. You'll lose your homes. You'll suffer. And then the strong man will come out. Okay. Who is this? Canada's #1 podcaster and best-looking man, KevinJJohnston. The Kevin J. Johnston Show runs every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time at www.freedomreport.ca. There you go. That helps. All right. Because more people live in Ontario than Alberta or Manitoba. Well, yeah, Ontario signifies 14.5 million people. It's huge. Population-wise, it's massive. So, yes, they have more voting power. I saw you yesterday. Please come back every day. You're great. Thank you. It's all going to be a matter of time. Not saying that I'm so busy I can't go live. What we will do here, because it seems like this question and answer period is popular on TikTok, it seems, is that we will probably end up scheduling this in some particular way. Okay. And there's no point asking me to come in live. It's not going to happen. I have to vet you. Contact me. Go to my website, www.kevinjjohnston.me. KevinJJohnston with the T.me. Contact me there if you want to be on my show. Why block people? I don't get it. Don't you want both ideas in conversation? Sure. I just don't want trolls. All right. Trolls don't converse. They don't add anything to the conversation. They come here to upset everybody. And I don't like trolls. Just beat it. And by the way, if there's a serious question that you have, ask it. I don't like my tax dollars being used for this government. I'm so mad with Canada. I would suggest strongly that everyone stop paying their income tax because it just goes to the Ukraine right now anyway, or it goes to the Aga Khan on his island. It doesn't go to us. Think about it. Were there any new highways built under Trudeau? No. Any new railroads? No. Any new airports? No. Any new shipping ports? No. There's just nothing new under this guy. If you're going to give taxes to this guy, he's going to give it to another country. I'd say stop doing it. All right. Okay. Oh, Nemnock. How did you get back here? Let's get you out of here. Block. Moron. Okay. Someone says mainly because you got like 25 votes. 13,800, I believe, in Mississauga. I placed second. So almost 17,000 in Mississauga. I placed second. They didn't want me to win again, so they rigged the machines. I won the Calgary mayor race, by the way, Jelly Bean, whatever your name is. They just didn't want me in office. They selected Trudeau's friend and not me, Trudeau's enemy. Come back to Ontario. Nah. No, my time is done there. There's no money in Ontario anymore. There's no opportunity in Ontario anymore. Block. And you know that. The province of Ontario is going to crash. All right. So hire one. Hire who? Don't understand the question. Okay. The level of narcissism in this guy is pretty astonishing. Do you know what narcissism is? Maybe what you could do is form an argument. If you think I'm narcissistic, tell us why, but cite real examples. Cite a narcissistic behavior of mine, which you won't be able to find, by the way. So let's move on from you. All right. I have an HVAC tech, G1 in refrigeration. I make a ton of money. Yes, you're in the trades. You're in a business that people, they don't want it. They need it. So when you have something that people need, you'll make money. And congratulations, by the way. What country is the best one to live in? I would have to travel the world and find out. And you got to remember this also. The best country in the world to be in if you are a rich Arab would be Dubai. The United Arab Emirates and the city of Dubai. But if you are not that, and you're someone who just likes to live on the beach, maybe Florida is the best place to live, or maybe Costa Rica on the West Coast would be the best place to live. Everybody has to decide for themselves what the best place is going to be. I would like to live in a country that has economic opportunity. That's going to be my big thing, and that's not communist. Those are my two things. I mean, I can deal with everything else, but communism is very difficult to live under. It's horrendous. All right. Oh, jelly beans. Okay, let's just get you out of here. All right. Again, another troll. Another one of those immense left-wing freaks. Get you out of here. Bye-bye. Again, gentlemen, ladies, things, creatures, thee, them, thy, jays, whatever you are. There is no point coming in here talking about really, really negative stuff. I'm just going to boot you. Okay. I have a video that says Sky is Illuminati. No, I don't, because I'm not into all that conspiracy stuff, period. Let's just get rid of you. That's a lie. Don't lie, guys. Don't come in here and make false accusations. There's enough of that in the world. Okay, Mary says, thank you. I'll never live under communism. I'm just going to jump over to the Rumble room. All right. When am I able to bring Martin back with incredible information? Soon. You're not the only one, Lele, to request that. Martin's a great guy. He's a wealth of knowledge. We'll get him back on the show as quickly as we possibly can. May I ask your religious beliefs? Absolutely, you can ask. I am a cultural Christian. I was raised Catholic, but not strictly. And to me, spirituality and religion are not the same thing. Organized religions are political entities. Spirituality and philosophy are not. They are your personal connection to what life is in general. So I'm a spiritual individual only from the standpoint of life is a beautiful thing. Life is a gift. Like, think about the astronomical chances of you not having been here in the first place. Sperm cell has to be delivered at the right time on the right day. Egg has to be like the ovulation has to be complete. That sperm cell has got to fight all the others. And there could be another man's sperm in the same place. It's got to fight them too and get in there and create you. Like, the odds of you being here are so small that it's a treasure, and you should treasure life. That's what I do. I treasure life. I'm smiling all the time because I'm happy to be here observing the planet at this particular point in its history. Life is gorgeous. The planet's amazing. So I am philosophical, but I am not religious, not in any way. I think it needs to be addressed that how we are under the Corporation of Canada as chattel. Okay, that one, that's a whole show. We did a couple of 2-hour shows about that. I'm not going to spend 2 hours recovering that show and bringing it back forward. But what I do want to say is that you should watch my older shows. And you're kind of correct on that one. Okay. How does this MNOC guy keep getting in? He must have 1,000 accounts. Out. Get out. Get out. Get out, you bad boy. You left-wing, silly individual. All right. Stacy, that's not a question. Could you rephrase it, please? And I'll address that. Okay, let's try to catch up on a few things here. Holy smoke, 99 new messages since I answered the last question. That's crazy. All right. Kevin, ask your payroll officer to stop deducting taxes. Yes. Okay. Anybody who's working for a company now full-time, what you can do is make a statement, and you may have to do it in writing, but you tell the payroll clerk, officer, whatever it might be inside your company, that you will now be taking care of your own taxes. You no longer wish to be on the company payroll and to put you on contract. Now, they'll probably decline. Okay. You might need to file a motion in the courts to have that done, but feel free to do so. And that's another lesson I would have to teach. That's a long, long lesson. I really can't teach it today, but yeah, it's worth a try. Declaring your own taxes. And, the best part is that the Canada Revenue Agency tends to not even bother you until you've gone between 3 and 6 years without having filed your taxes. So if you file your taxes 5 or 6 years late, they really have to go on whatever you say your income was. You can do estimated income. You can tell the government, yeah, I only made $16,000. And there's no way for them to prove that. And if they choose to audit you, you can simply decline. You can decline. You can say, I'm sorry, I'm going to decline that. Thank you very much for your time. No, I will not cooperate in any way, because they'll say, well, my badge number is 2418. You got to come into our office. No, you don't. You don't have to go anywhere. Remember what I said about the right to remain silent? You don't have to answer anyone's questions. When someone tells you you've got the right to remain silent, that doesn't mean you're under arrest. It means you literally have the right to not answer people's questions. So if Canada Revenue Agency phones you up, just say, thank you for the opportunity to speak. I bid you adieu. hang up the phone. If they call you back, call the police. Tell them you're being harassed. If the police don't do anything, send them off a letter telling them they're not to harass you anymore. Then sue Canada Revenue Agency. All right? Fight. Fight for your rights. You have to fight. Have you had all your vaccines? I heard COVID is coming back. As a kid, we had all the protein-based vaccines that were standard at the time. Very few, I might add. Tetanus, that one's deadly. Rubella, tuberculosis, there might have been about 8 or 9 that we got. That's it. They didn't fill us up with 150 poisons like they do now. So I've had all of those. But if you're asking, did I take the Pfizer or Johnston or Moderna vaccines? Are you out of your friggin' minds? I wrote a book called Masks Are BS where I debunked all of that. You think for a second I'm going to put poison in my veins because some 20-year-old bitch at the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation says so? Are you out of your mind? Hell no. All right. How many years of prison time should one serve for not complying with the vaccine schedules? 0. Everybody who forced vaccines on the general public should be in prison today for the rest of their lives for culpable homicide and murder. And you're someone that's going to get this broadcast blocked, so we're just going to get rid of you. Hey, Kevin, I can assume from all the actions that I've seen you do, you is a grifter. Not a grifter at all. I don't make money doing this at all, period. I do not make money on TikTok. I do not make money down here on Rumble. I don't make money doing this. And your grammar is atrocious. But you use the word grifter, which is not allowed here. Because I've already told everybody I don't grift. It's a false accusation, one you cannot back. Where are the mods? We need troll control. Okay. Anybody who wants to be a mod for me, let's talk. Go to my website, KevinJJohnston.me. Give me your phone number. We will have a little bit of chit-chat. Crazy Coach 21. You have a Hitler icon. Let's just get rid of you. We don't do Adolf Hitler here. Okay. All right, just going to keep going here. There's a lot of questions, everybody. So if you have questions, go ahead, throw them in the room. My battery's running low, so I think we got about 6 or 7 more questions to go through. Have you had your mental health evaluated? Yeah, well, about 10 years ago, and I was judged to be a genius. So that was meant to be an insult, so we're going to toss you out of the room. Confirm. The right to remain silent is American, not Canadian. No, it's Canadian. Both laws, both systems of government in law were based on British law. If you get arrested in Canada, here's the way it goes. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. You also have the right to an attorney being present during questioning. And then typically it's, do you understand these rights? And you can say yes or no, your call, or you can ignore them. You have the right to ignore everything. Don't talk to the police. If they say you have the right to remain silent, say nothing to them at all. Except, where's my lawyer? Lawyer, please. Lawyer, 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 lawyer. Just keep saying the word lawyer. Because once you say lawyer, they can't question you anymore. And if they do, they've broken the law. Okay. I'm just going to go through more questions here. Oh, here's some idiot. Wasn't staying off of social media one of your bail conditions? That's what you sound like. That was, you're talking about January of last year, and all that's done. You see, your information is about 18 months out of date. And because you're a dumbass who doesn't do any research, and you got a miserable expression on your face, let's get rid of you. Done. And just like that, another troll is out of here. All right. Do we have any more questions here in the other rooms? All right. Someone is offering me a free haircut. All right. Well, sure. Why not? If you're a good hairstylist, why not? Are you being forced to pay the $650,000 that was ruled against me? Again, your information's out of date. I appealed that. The appeal is next year. So no, it goes into stasis. I don't owe anybody anything. All right, you got that? Oh, you people suck. Do some research. Don't watch Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. They never do the follow-up story. All right. What happened to Derek? Yeah, he's still in Alberta. He's on a spiritual journey of his own. So we wished him the best. And I really hope that his spiritual journey is fruitful for him. I truly do. All right. So J1 Limited, shoot me all your contact information. Why don't we chat after the show? Who are you? Oh, I'll answer that question for the second time today. I am Kevin J. Johnston, Canada's #1 podcaster and best-looking man. You can watch the Kevin J. Johnston Show live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time at www.freedomreport.ca. That's who I am. All right. All woke. Provinces need to cut financial ties with Ontario. Yeah, Southern Ontario, essentially Kitchener, Waterloo, Hamilton, Ancaster, Mississauga, Burlington, Oakville, Brampton, Caledon, Scarborough, Markham, and Whitby, Pickering. All those cities need to just form their own coalition and become their own country and leave the rest of Ontario to itself. That's what needs to happen. Mishgali 11.2.0. Give me your phone number. I'll get you a call today. All right. Every single day, I do a 10-kilometer walk so that I can get caught up on phone calls. That's my time. It's my exercise time, obviously. As a result of all the walking, I have a marvelous butt. Ooh, it's super. And I certainly will get you a call while I'm doing so. By the way, speaking of that, men over 40, I don't understand what it is in the gym. I do a lot of squats in the gym, and I like to climb stairs a lot because it does work out my lower back, hamstrings, and all the glutes, all 3 sets of glutes. Why is it that men think that working out their butts to make a big muscular butt is gay? It's not. It's necessary. Do you know why we stand on 2 legs? Because the glutes, your glute muscles, they hold us up. Yeah? How many guys you see that walk like this with their big bellies hanging out and they walk all hunched over and they're looking at the ground when they walk? Because you got no ass muscles. That's why. It's not gay. And how many men do you see over 50 where their pants are held on by duct tape or rope because they have no ass to hold their pants up? All right, that's never going to be me. Let me tell you that right now. So men, get out there and work out. Lower back, hamstrings, and your glutes. That holds us up. God, man, you guys drive me nuts. That's why I don't hang out with too many guys in their 50s. They're always sore. They can't keep up with me when I'm riding a bike or rollerblading or walking or climbing. They're too busy crying about old injuries. No one has more injuries than me, man. Let me tell you that. And I still walk. Dude does need his mental. I think that's an insult, but your grammar is atrocious. So we really can't tell. You had your mental health checked and your diagnosis was that you're a genius. Well, I'm not going to read to you the report that was written when I had the analysis done because the court's ordered that I get one. But high intelligence quotient, large vocabulary, excellent life philosophies, good attitude. These are things that they said. Highly intelligent. All right, they marked down that I'm no threat to anybody because I don't threaten people and I don't hit people unless it's in a defensive mode only. All right. Again, people, like, what is it with you? Those are Miranda rights. They're not called Miranda rights in Canada. They're just called your rights. You have the right to remain silent. That is a Canadian thing as well. And did you know that the term felony is actually also in Canadian law? It's just that we use the term indictable offense instead. So if you're going to come in here and spew what you think to be facts, get your facts right before you do so. You don't know the laws in your own country. Oh man, I know more about law in Canada than everybody in the room combined. That's not an insult to people. I've studied this stuff because I've had to. All right. I'm not sure if this girl and her sewing machine is trying to insult me or not because her grammar is terrible. So you're saying a mental health check does not test IQ, but okay. No, I did a separate IQ test. 138, by the way. Kevin, I miss you going to stores and handing out court papers. I have a court order that says I can't hand out court papers anymore. Do you believe that? The Canadian government tells me that I can't hand out court papers for a living. This like I told, communism, it sucks. Keep going here. Wow, there's a lot of questions in TikTok. This is crazy. I didn't think TikTok was this useful. All right. I like this guy. He speaks the truth. Thank you, Terry. Greatly appreciate that. All right. No, I'm not. People get blocked because they're incorrect. I don't block people because they're right. Toronto.ca or whatever your name is. We told you before, if you swear, you're out of here. All right. Families watch my show. I don't swear in my show. That's number one. Number two is when you're all cackling out the same insults, you're all part of the problem. And that problem is you're going to CBC and CNN for your news. And we don't need you coming in here spewing facts that are incorrect. And if your information is 18 months out of date, but you want to stand by it as today's fact, you got to go. What's the point? Why would I have you here? This is my time, not yours. I've been told I have the maturity of a toddler. Can you back that statement up with any particular fact? Why do I look like that? What, you mean gorgeous? 'Cause. All right, next. Are you over 4 feet tall? Sure. No. Yes. No. You pick. Oh my God. How do you seek a labor lawyer? Lawyers are difficult to find in the field, but the best thing in the world to do if you're looking for a lawyer in Canada is to go to yellowpages.ca, call a few. They'll tell you, oh, I'm not in that particular branch of law, but you always ask, can you recommend a lawyer who is? And they will. Lawyers recommend each other all the time. So if you don't get the answer that you're looking for with the first lawyer, ask them to clarify. And they usually will. Oh, okay. So now we finally know that you're a troll, a girl and her sewing machine. So your hate-filled, racist rhetoric will not be tolerated here. You're out. Boom. Okay. Just for the record, being racist against white people, that's racism. Okay. And I'm not going to put up with it. All right. You want to come in here and use the N-word or anything else? You're out of here too. Yeah. We're not doing this. Period. You haven't had your appeal yet, so the question is valid. No. The appeal is in place. Whenever you appeal a decision in the courts, the decision in the courts is void until the appeal is heard and the appeal is lost. So the question is not relevant. But now that you know there's an appeal, if you ask it again, I'm going to turf you. How does that sound? All right. Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah. See, I knew this was going to come up. Best looking man. I've seen better heads on a mug of beer. Okay, that insult is from the 70s. And the way that you're supposed to say that is, nice hair, Kevin. I've seen better heads or better lids on a $2 draft. That's how that joke or insult is supposed to go. So you can't even insult me correctly. Isn't it embarrassing for you that I have to tell you how to insult me because you don't do it right? Surely there's better podcasts than yours. No. And I'll say it again in French. No. And I know I'm irritating you when I say that. See, again, she got so upset. I never heard of this dude. He's definitely not the best looking man. Opinions vary. They vary. All right, hold on. I'm just going to check the other, the Facebook rooms now for questions. Give me a second there. Ed was an awesome guest host on Tuesday. Yeah, Ed Janusek, he's a great guy. You know, he really is a wonderful guy. I'm glad that he co-hosts my show. I'm so happy to see him. Like, I get a chance to hang out with a really decent, caring, loving human being. He is such a great guy. All right. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, I upset somebody. Vince, the Tahali, whatever you are, you're not the #1 podcast and you're not handsome and highly out of line. Again, opinions vary. And out of line? Look, crybaby, I'm just going to send you on your merry way. You chose to be here and you chose to stay. That's the weird part. But bye. All right. Can we get questions? Forget the insults. I get off on insults. When you insult me, it raises me up, man. I love it. Ask questions. This is supposed to be question and answer period. Is your podcast on Spotify? Not yet. We are going to address that situation for September because we're making some serious changes to the way that the show works. That's all I can say for now. Okay, here's a good comment. I like this one. Richard Thomas Bake says, I like most of your content. I don't agree with some, but that doesn't mean you're wrong. That's right. And we don't have to agree. And you don't have to like the content, and you don't have to agree with how I deliver it. But if you do like the content or the delivery and you disagree, that's great too. We have the right to like, disagree with, be disgusted by. All of us do. And that's a very honest comment, and I appreciate that. Thank you. This guy reminds me of the guy from 90 Day Fiancé. I have no idea what that is. Sounds like a cable television show. I don't have cable TV. Okay, keep going here. Keep going. Keep going. I don't know what the button machine is, everybody, so I'm not going to comment on that. I really don't. Trump or Biden? Obviously Trump. Okay. I don't know the definition of communism. It's a system of government that is designed where the state owns and controls everything. That's it. Done. And it's failed every single time it's been implemented in the world. So, yeah, I do know what communism is. Remember, I grew up during the Cold War. America and Canada were free, and the Soviet Union and the Warsaw Pact, that was communism, right? And those countries were horrible. Okay, dude has some homophobic stuff, but also some stuff that makes me wonder. Okay, we've covered this homophobia thing before. If one of my best friends here in Alberta, Rio, the comedian, who calls himself the flamingest flamer in Alberta, is one of my top 3 friends, then there would be no homophobia that comes out of my mouth. I would certainly not in any way, shape, or form be chasing people away from being in my personal life because they're gay. I'm dead set against the LGBTQ cult. The brash statements that the family unit's bad that they make, the violence that they do. That's what I'm against. I'm a conservative. So if you're a conservative gay man or a conservative gay woman, you can absolutely be in my life because we have stuff in common. Not our sexual preferences, but we don't even have to talk about that. And the truth is, I shouldn't even know if you're gay. You shouldn't talk about that. I don't walk around town with a sign saying I'm heterosexual. I don't do that. Why? There's no gain. There's no benefit. So if you're a gay man who's conservative and you don't walk around town saying, I am gay, obviously we can be friends. So no, I'm not homophobic. I despise cults. Black Lives Matter, Antifa, LGBTQ plus cults. Can't stand them. I am not in Vancouver. I've been to Vancouver 5 or 6 times. The last time I was there, the homelessness was really out of control. I was actually depressed being there. It's not good. I feel horrible for all those people. I really do. All right. 99 new messages since I answered the last question. Wow. Let's go down to the bottom here. Hold up, dude. Cult. What violence does the LGBTQ? You're really asking me that? Is that really a question? How many times have you seen on YouTube somebody gets misgendered, which isn't possible, by the way, and they scream, it's ma'am, you call me ma'am, I am a woman, and they trash someone's store. Antifa is part of the LGBTQ plus. All they use is violence. I know, I'm a victim of it 6 times. The LGBTQs, hold on. The LGBTQ cult is one that's trying to divide the rest of us in our society. They're using division, lies, rhetoric. They're utilizing white noise machines. When guys like me talk, they drown us out. They're fascists. It's terrible. Whereas a conservative gay person is not a fascist. They're just a normal person. God. D. Miller, I'm addressing most of the questions that are coming in on TikTok. I've got my phone up there, and I've got Rumble, Facebook, D Live, Twitch, and a few others down here. So if you have a question, throw them in the room. All right. I'm quite the character. Thank you. I think that's a compliment. All right. Oh my God. Here's all the Fox News talking points. No, I'm not really a fan of Fox News, especially after Tucker's gone. Now they're just left-wing crap like the rest. Okay. All right. So BLM is a cult, And BLM is a terrorist organization, well-funded, designed to interfere with the political process. So is Antifa. So is the Communist League of Ottawa, the Communist League of Vancouver, the Communist League of America. These are all shills designed to destroy what was once great about this country. And, of course, to lead young men, especially young men, down the wrong pathway. Okay. You parrot all the fear-mongering trash. Tell me one fear-mongering statement that I've made. Just one. Fox has gone left. You know that they're owned by Disney, right? You know that Fox was completely bought out by Disney, which means that they got Family Guy, and they got, what did they get? They got Futurama. They got, what else? They got American Dad. And everything that Seth MacFarlane did, they got all that. They got everything Fox owned, including the Marvel movies that were not part of the cinematic universe. I'm surprised they don't own Sony yet. But now that Disney has gone so far friggin' left with their ideas in movies that everybody hates, they have no choice now but to double down and go far left with their news as well. And they have absolutely destroyed Fox News. It's garbage now. I wouldn't even touch it. Okay, I did not hear that Disney is moving to Niagara Falls. I actually found a couple of articles where they have, but the articles are on very unusual newspapers, so I haven't confirmed that yet. I don't know if Disney's moving to Canada. I hope not, but you never know. Okay, I'm just going to scroll through a few more questions here. Another one of these idiots who watches CBC and CNN. You're a moron, Dred Zeppelin. You're telling me that I threatened AHS workers. Go and watch the video for yourself. KevinJJohnston.com is my BitChute channel. You can see that I didn't threaten anybody. CBC said I did. That doesn't mean I did. All right? It's all propaganda. You tell me what the threat was. You go ahead, Dred Zeppelin, and find out what that was. If I see you in the next question and answer period that I do, and you don't have any evidence, you're going to be blocked, okay? You go find a threat. I dare you. You're not going to find it anywhere. Period. Fox and Fox News, two different things. No, they're not. Unfortunately, it's all owned by the same thing. Someone's telling me that I fear-mongered over the vaccines, LGBTQ, and the idea that Trudeau is a communist. Okay, you are a far-left nut. Your particular way of thinking is friggin' dangerous. What I did tell everybody about the vaccines is not one medical institution anywhere in the world ever released the genome for the virus or a photograph of the virus under an electron microscope. Not one. So where's the virus? It was made up. Keep going here. Give us a break, goofball. You can leave. Actually, here, let me help you. You're wearing a mask in your photograph. Get out of here. All right, everyone. So I think we're down. I asked you something, Kevin. All right. If anybody has one last, am I friends with Don Cherry? I wish I was. Oh God, I wish I was friends with Don Cherry. That guy is just the absolute best. I would be entertained beyond belief. I would never have to buy a movie ticket again if I was friends with him. He's awesome. Absolutely fantastic. And no chicken witch, whatever your name is, the very fact you've got the word bitch in your name tells me that you don't belong here. We don't do profanity here. Sorry. We really don't. Oh, and you're one of those anti-meat people. Oh, God. No, we don't need that at all. All right. So we do love Don Cherry. All right. Last question on TikTok. The first person that puts a serious question up here gets that one answered. I apologize for asking, but this is new to me. What is it that you mostly discuss? Politics, police, environment, lies. We debunk everything. Anything at all to do with modern life, we tell the truth about it. That's what the show is all about. And for those who are watching, my show, my live show with guests every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time at www.freedomreport.ca. Brenda, thank you. Sending positive thoughts and prayers. All of you. I really hope that everybody finds something positive in their day every single day. What is your name, sir? Kevin J. Johnston. You can watch the Kevin J. Johnston Show on Tuesdays, 9 p.m., freedomreport.ca. Okay. Why is it hard to remove a de facto government? Guns. That's the only reason. They have them, we don't. Or they have them and we're willing to use them. We have them, but we're not. That's why. Governments are always in power because they have guns. How can all doctors, here's a good question. How can all doctors be wrong about COVID and you are right? Because I asked to see the documentation. They wouldn't show it to me. Instead, what they did is they tried to silence me with prison time. All right. So if any doctor out there could possibly, speaking of Ed, there he is. So for anybody who's in the Rumble, Facebook, D Live, or Twitch rooms, there's Ed. He combed his hair. He looks great.
Yeah, I didn't.
Something exists. You have to show it to me. And they never did. Not one medical institution showed the world that there was anything. They showed us computer-generated drawings, but I mean, I can do that. I can go to my AI app and say, draw me a virus, and it will. Right? We were duped. That's what I'm talking about. Okay.
So, Kevin, one of the earlier comments about the fear-mongering.
Ed, Ed, I'll be right with you. Everybody on TikTok, thank you for being here. My phone is out of juice. I got to go. We'll be doing this again real soon. Spread the word. Share this with everybody. My name is Kevin J. Johnston. Watch me live every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time at freedomreport.ca. Have a great day, everybody. All right, Ed. So, for anybody who's, Ed's hot. Look at that. Robert says you're hot. You're hot. Ooh.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways, the fear mongering. When you were in jail, we had doctors on for 2 weeks straight, and they were going through all the data from the Pfizer drops and other drops and going through all this information, and they were translating it into, more normal language. So this is all factual based stuff. This is all stuff that Pfizer put out themselves. Mm-hmm. And, you know what? If you took the jab and then it's like, boom, this is coming out from Pfizer. It's like, why wouldn't we know about this? Was it fear mongering? No, it was truth mongering.
Oh, it most certainly was.
But people that made the mistake of taking these damn experimental jabs, you know, I feel sorry for you guys, but we get the information out. We try to be as honest as we can. You want to talk a bit about what's happening Tuesday night on the show?
Yeah, you go ahead. You set this up. You take credit. Go ahead.
No, I'm not. The show hasn't been done yet, so there's no credit to be taken. But I've got Donald Best coming on. He's a ex-Toronto policeman. I believe sergeant, investigator. We'll get all the details.
Eventually a detective as well. And he ran a private, his own private detective firm.
Now, how does a cop end up doing 2 or 3 months in jail?
Because he was exposing crooked cops and crooked judges. That's why. The system cannot have insubordinates. That's how that works. And he's going to talk about all of this on Tuesday. By the way, everybody, there it is there, the Coots 4. We're going to talk about that, or at least what we're allowed to talk about by law, with a former police officer who did time for exposing things like this. It's going to be a hell of a show.
Yeah, it will be a hell of a show. I'm thinking maybe we should start an hour earlier because 2 hours ain't going to do it, or we might have to do a part 2 possibly.
Well,
because there's a lot.
The show starts at 7. Honestly, I don't think people are going to. It's very difficult to reach people. Here's the problem, Ed, is that due to budget constraints, I could no longer afford to pay for the blast email that I had, something like $75 a month. So I'm not sending my emails out anymore. We're counting specifically and only on social media to get the word out. So for us to make an announcement that we're going to go an hour early, maybe 10% of the audience might get that message in advance.
Then we'll have to do a part 2 then, because we're not going to cover it all Tuesday, not even close. There's so much to get into, and there's so much stuff, like factual stuff, stories that should be in the mainstream media. It just never gets to the mainstream media because it's not government friendly, and I think we have a responsibility as Canadians to bring the truth to our audience, and hopefully they'll spread it out for us. And people really need to know the truth of what's actually going on out there, because there's so much that isn't even being covered. Like, I don't make a nickel on this. It just costs me time and money and equipment and all this stuff. I've never taken a nickel from this show. And
Well, any nickels that we made on this show back in 2021 went into the excessive rent. Like we had $1,700 a month in rent to pay, and all the bills that went along with it. Plus, I was running the mayor campaign, so people were complaining, saying that they were estimating that we made about $85,000 to $90,000 that year. We did. There's nothing left. Like by the time I went back to prison in December of the same year, that's it. We were out of dough. There was nothing left. That's legal fees, all the fees to run everything. It was just so much money went out the door that if we had not made between 85 and 90,000 bucks, then there would have been no show. Like there just would have been.
I had to cough up, was it $300 to get some transcripts just so that you can go ahead and file a defense?
Yeah, tell me about it. Like
that's
how little that there is. Oh, hold on. Robert's saying something here. Robert, jet over to my website, guys. Here, it's real simple. www.this and hold on there. I don't have my regular keyboard with me. I'm not typing fast. There we go. Boom. So contact me. There's a contact form on the homepage and on the contact page. Come straight to my my phone. Gladly talk to you there, Robert. So please contact me there. Send me all your contact info.
And we can't be everywhere either. And if there's stories that are breaking that just aren't getting what you think should be proper media attention, send us those leads. We'll dig into it.
Oh yeah, I love digging into stuff. Believe me, I do. Absolutely.
And here's the crux of the matter. Once we lose our free speech, and it's going quick with these laws that are coming in, the government will do and they'll play with our minds more than they are right now. Think about that. So free speech is the most, underpins freedom. Without freedom of speech, there will be no freedom. I can guarantee it.
I absolutely agree with that. 100%. All right, Eduardo, I got a split, man. First off, I've been sitting on my ass for 2 hours, and this room has no AC. The sun's been beating in. All right, I'm sweating here. I think this chair should be thrown out. There's so much butt sweat on it. So I'm gonna go. But thank you to everybody for being here. It seems that these question and answer videos are really popular now. Like TikTok just lit up. I couldn't believe how many people there were in the room. It just lit up. I mean, the left-wing nuts go there, but that's okay. We're going to keep blocking them.
Well, even the left-wing nuts, they've been programmed by mainstream media, by the TV, by the radio. I don't listen to or watch TV anymore. Haven't in 3 or 4 years. And, it's quite peaceful, actually. It's quite refreshing. Not getting brainwashed all the time.
I haven't had cable. Hey, dude, I have not had cable TV since... I'd say since I was about 34 years of age. Got rid of it and haven't had it since. And it is peaceful.
But it is really, really a mind control device. And people that watch mainstream media news, it's like, man, trying to talk to these people, it's like, whoa. It's try to be open-minded, try to be critical thinking, look at whatever it is. Don't believe anything. Do your own research, dig into things. Why take our word for it, or why take CBC's word for it?
Well, everyone should do their own research, but I mean, we certainly, I hate CBC so much that pretty much if you and I were to say exactly opposite what they say, we'd be right by default. But that's not how I do things. I'm just saying that they're so full of crap that that's the only thing that we would have to do. Just be contrarians and we'd be correct. Nonetheless, everybody, my bladder's also full. I've been here for how long? How long has this been going on? 2 hours, 13. It was supposed to be an hour.
Guys, Tuesday night, tune in. You really need to know what's going on with Coots 4. It truly is disgusting, and you're going to want to modify the Canadian flag. We'll have to take off the maple leaf and put a banana in its place, because we are so close to being a banana republic.
We have been for a while. Not close. We are. It's a joke. It's a damn joke. What we've been doing. But let's not be negative. Let's just tell everyone the weather in Alberta is gorgeous. I'm going to go outside and have some fun. And in the meantime, Ed is going to probably do what? Get a new hairdo between now and then? Is that your goal?
No, I got flight training this afternoon. So.
All right. So you're doing something real. That's awesome. All right. Actually, you know what? I'm working on my motorcycle bit right now. I'm actually doing the mock tests, making sure I get everything right. So I'm actually studying after I go out and walk the dog. Yeehaw.
For the motorcycle exam?
Yeah, I'm going to get my motorcycle license back. I used to have it. I let it lapse.
My brother made me take a test, motorcycle test, so I get my, what is it called? Not there, 365 for motorcycles, so I could try out his Harley.
Yeah.
I was laughing at the questions. They're so stupid. It was unbelievable. And I still managed to get one wrong.
But there are still some technical ones that are good. For example, I remember this one from the original test is that if it's raining outside, what should you do? And there's some stupid options in there, but the real answer was deflate your tires a little bit so you have more grip. All right. Cool.
Yeah. Well, it's good. Knowledge is power, and keep you safe and keep you alive. And, go ahead and hit the book, study. It's only for your, you'll live longer, right? That's the whole idea.
Well, I'm also going to take the course. There's a good friend of mine out here that runs one of the courses, and he's letting me into the course. So I'm going to do that course because I need a refresher. I've actually not ridden a motorcycle in 25 years, literally. Yeah. So I'm rusty as hell.
I don't know. I got cut off this week here, 2 blocks away from my house. Driving down the street, guy pulls right into me. And if I didn't see him in the corner of my eye, swerve like crazy, would have smoked both of us. It's like nobody checks anymore when cutting into traffic.
Nobody cares anymore, man. Manners are just gone. It's amazing that everyone thinks the car is going to protect them if they hit somebody else. It's not. It's not.
Well, on a bike, it's even worse.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be riding motorcycle in Canada. I think I'd much rather just have that thing. I'll practice, but there are better places in the world to ride motorcycles where motorcycles are actually part of the culture. Okay, gotta go. Thanks, Ed. Thanks for the surprise visit. Okay, everyone, that's it for now. We will see you Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. The Coots 4. Tell everybody about it. Do not miss the show. Love you all.